do, and welcome to Talking Paranormal with the Old Man. I am, as always, the Old Man. How the hell are you today? Good day here. It looks like it might rain outside the spook house. It's a little bit dark. It's a little bit dark outside. So doing good. Hope you're all doing well. We are continuing our tour across the U.S. of A. And today's stop, I should say we're doing a tour of the states. So today, in alphabetical order, by the way, today's stop is it is a state that I'm more than a little familiar with. Michigan. Today we're doing Michigan, my home state. I'm trying to clean lint off my hat. Yeah, Michigan. So I know I'm going to probably add, this is going to probably go over a little bit longer than what it usually is, because I know a lot of haunted places and I got stories to tell and places to be. Well, not really. I don't have no place to be today. I'm off work today. So I had someone coming over for an appointment, but they canceled on me. So yeah. So anyways, so again, this is not a definitive list. This isn't the only list. This isn't my list, actually. This is just a list of the seven, well, it says the seven most haunted places, but they missed a few places, I guarantee you that. And this is Haunted Rooms Co. Yeah, this is my go-to. Last week they kind of disappointed me though, so we'll see how we are this week. If they disappoint me 2 days in a row, you're out. You're out. I'll find someone else here. So, so this is the seven most haunted places in Michigan. Or if you're from Michigan, Michigan. Okay, Michigan, also known as the Great Lakes State. Really? Has a dark and mysterious side that has intrigued ghost hunters and paranormal enthusiasts for years. I can attest to that. From abandoned asylums to historic hotels, Michigan is home to some of the most haunted places in the country. Yeah, maybe. In this article, we will delve into the chilling tales and spine-tickling encounters that have taken place at the top seven most haunted places in Michigan. Again, though, this is their opinion, so it might not be yours. So get ready to embark on a journey of the unknown as we uncover the secrets and ghostly apparitions that haunt these infamous sites. I wish I could figure out my thing here, but I don't know how this fucking works. Maybe I'll play with it later because I can like change my voice. I have a soundboard, and I started this a few minutes ago, and I wasn't getting any feedback in my earphones. I had it turned off. But it helps if you have it turned on. Because if you have it turned off, you're not hearing yourself, and if you're not hearing yourself, you're not hearing me hearing myself. So yeah. Okay, so number one, I say I'm getting off topic here. Number one, River Basin National Battlefield Park, Monroe. Never been there before. Never been there before. In 1812, hundreds of Americans died at the River Raisin battlefield. Like so many battlefields, this has given rise to a grim and unsettling reputation for paranormal activity. But why is that unsettling? It's not grim either. If you embrace the paranormal, it can be fun. It can be. So in fact, oh, I don't know about this. River Raisin National Battlefield Park is considered to be one of the most haunted places in Michigan. See, I don't know about that because there's Eloise, there's the former state hospital in Traverse City, there's the Holly Hotel, the Linden Hotel, the Fitton Hotel, the Whitney, which I would never step foot in that goddamn place. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know if we'll find out. We'll hold judgment until we're done. So River Raisin was the site of one of the biggest battles of 1812. The 850 American troops who were settled there were attacked by 500 British soldiers and 500 Native Americans. Oh shit. Around 300 American soldiers were killed and hundreds more were wounded. These wounded men have left defenseless and wait. Oh, I'm sorry. These wounded men were left defenseless and ended up being slaughtered by the Native Americans is what is now known as the River Raisin Massacre. It is estimated that in all, only 33 of the Americans escaped alive. There are no figures known for the death toll on the other side. And it doesn't matter because they would say we didn't lose anybody. As you might expect, given the gruesome history, ghostly apparitions are the norm here. Several visitors have seen spectral American soldiers in uniform appropriate to 1812. Some visitors have captured shadowy figures in doorways when taking photographs, and there have been multiple EVPs recorded in the area, which contain moans and cries of agony and the sounds of a battle taking place. Number 2 is Mackinac Island, Lake Huron. It's Mackinac, not Mackinac, just so you all are aware. And you sound like a tourist if you say Mackinac. Well, not really, but yeah, it's Mackinac. And it is in the Straits of Mackinac, yeah, on the Lake Huron side. The Mackinac Bridge, I didn't click that. The Mackinac Bridge is in the Straits of Mackinac. For Mackinac City to say Ignis, the left is Lake Michigan or Lake Michigan. To the right is Lake Huron. So Mackinac Island is a very popular tourist destination, but visitors say that even in the height of summer, certain areas just feel cold and somehow off compared to others, and off is in quote marks. In Mackinac Island, there are no cars. 0 cars are allowed. With more than 100 individual ghosts reported on the island, this is one of the most haunted places in Michigan. Oh, wait a minute, you just said that the battlefield was the most haunted places in Michigan. Get your story straight, dude. Which is it? Let's take a look at some of the paranormal hotspots. The Moral or Morale. No, I think it's Moral. Moral. The Moral Rearmament Building has long been one of the most well-known haunts on the island. It is said to be haunted by a former student of Mackinac College. Where the fuck is Mackinac College? Who is a bit of a practical joker with male guests. See, male is M-A-I-L. It's male, M-A-L-E. See, they don't do this stuff, man. You need to edit your story. God, practical joker with male, as in male postal service mail guest, who is said to have flirted with a lady. I don't know if there was a Mackinac College. I think they're full of shit on this. I call BS on this. Oh, I stand corrected. I did not know this. So I stand corrected. I'm the one full of shit because I stand corrected. Okay. So Mackinac College was a short-lived private liberal art school on the Mackinac Island, Michigan. See, you learn something new on this podcast every week. I did not know this, but I'm sure that you did not know this either. So yeah, it opened in the fall of 1966, grew out of a moral rearmament retreat center, and closed in June of 1970 after graduating just one class. Yeah, I think it's a short-lived, but it's on the island. Okay, so yeah, the site later briefly operated as a Bible college in 72. So the taught. Okay, so the academics was taught standard liberal arts, sciences, and public affairs. It struggled with low enrollment and friction in the 60s counterculture. And after life, the campus became no shit, as Mission Point Resort. See, I did not realize this. Wow, that's interesting because when we were there last time, 4 years ago, we went to Mission Point Resort. We didn't stay there though; too expensive for my blood. I'm a working man; I can't afford that. We saw the Paul McCartney tribute band there at Mission Point Resort. Well, that is interesting. I did not know that. I did not know that. All right. So what? So now, see, now my curiosity is piqued because if that building is still there. I'm just looking this up, guys. Like I said, I have to know. Okay, hold on a second. Okay, so the original MRA conference grounds on Mackinac Island were later transformed and are operating today as the Mission Point Resort. I might have to see where the hell that's at. Maybe somebody can help me because I am genuinely curious about this. Okay, I stand corrected. Okay. All right. So the story goes, we're back on the Moral Reinarmament Building. The story goes that the young man had a girlfriend at the college, and he asked her to marry him. When she refused, he was heartbroken, or brokenhearted, same fucking thing, and went into the woods to commit suicide. Now, there is a lot of woods in Mackinac Island. Although he went missing in February, his corpse was not found until July. Ew, that's gotta stink. No disrespect, you know. The death was ruled, a suicide, but there have been persistent rumors that perhaps there was foul play involved. It's not scary without the scary voice. Is this why he still wanders the buildings in search of justice? There have been reports of disembodied voices, whispering in visitors' ears, and a general uneasy feeling like someone is watching from the shadows. The Grand Hotel is also said to be haunted, with both guests and staff reporting phantom footsteps and doors that open and close on their own. It is thought that the hauntings here could stem from the fact that the cemetery was moved to accommodate the expansion of the hotel. Now, where does that sound familiar? Seriously, poltergeist? You moved the headstones, but you didn't move the bodies. That didn't end well. Where did you think this was going to end well? And the way it sounds is it didn't end well. So one other hotspot on the island is Mission Point, which has been featured on a couple of paranormal television shows. So I ain't going there. The ghost of a little girl named Lucy is seen on the balcony, often calling for her mom and dad. That's kind of sad. It is thought that Lucy died of a sudden illness while her parents were away on business in Detroit, and she passed before the return to the island. That's sad too. Meanwhile, the Perry Hotel is haunted by the spirit of a woman who committed suicide there in 1902. She's often seen looking out towards the nearby lake. That would be Lake Huron, by the way. So now, number 3 is the Felt Mansion in Holland. We've been to the Felt Mansion. We were asked to do a presentation there years ago, and then we did an investigation afterwards. Pretty cool place. The state owned it for a while, and if I remember correctly, it was the, I want to say, state police building, and they didn't destroy the building, but they like put up fucking walls and shit. So they were in the process of taking the walls down when we were there. Does it say about his wife? Okay, let me read what they say, then I'll give you my own story, because I don't want to step on anyone's toes, if you will. So Dorre E. Felt, and that's Dorre Felt, started construction of the Felt Mansion in 1925 with a vision of building a beautiful home for his family. It was originally intended to be the family's summer home. Summer home. If you see this mansion, it's a summer home. Jesus Christ. And it took 3 years to complete. It is one of the largest mansions of the time, with 25 rooms across the 17,000 square feet the house occupied. It even had its own ballroom. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. However, just 6 weeks after it was completed, Dorre's wife, Agnes, passed away suddenly, and he was left devastated. He died about 18 months later, some say of a broken heart. In the years that followed, the Felt family fell on hard times. Gradually, the land and then the house was sold off. The mansion was converted into a prep stool, a prep stool, a prep school for Catholic boys. Then in the 70s, it was first converted into a prison and then into a home for cloistered nuns. Okay, now the prison is a no for me, dog. It was not. The Sands Correctional Facility is just down the walk a little bit, maybe a eighth of a mile, and we investigated that too. That was kind of cool. So yeah, as far as I know, it was not a prison. There was no prison bars or anything like that. It might not come as much of a shock to learn that the main hauntings at Felt Mansion are said to be the spirits of the previous owners, Dor and Agnes Felt. Okay, I don't know what cloistered nuns were. That just got me there. Let me look and see what cloistered nuns. I have no idea what the fuck that even is. So, cloistered nuns, and I bet you did not know this either, are Catholic women religious. What? Catholic women religious? Religion, maybe? Ah, see, you guys need to, oh, actually, this is Google. Who live in a contemplative, enclosed life within a monastery, separated from the outside world to focus entirely on unceasing prayer, meditation, and a spiritual relationship with God. Really? I don't know what Catholic women religious are. Whatever. Not my party. Okay. They wander. So I'm assuming. Okay. They're said to be the spirits of the owners, Dor and Agnes. So I'm assuming when they say they, apparently that's who they're referring to. So they apparently wander throughout the house, and people have said that they are simply taking time to enjoy the dream home that they were unable to enjoy in life, which is a possibility. They seem to be friendly and are happy to share their home with guests and visitors. There are also reports of less defined shadow quote quote figures seen in the third floor ballroom. They sometimes dance while others are said to appear as though they are sweeping the floor. Nice. There are also reports of the double French door in Agnes's room opening and closing on the room. And that's what I wanted to make sure is we had someone that was at our investigation / presentation at the Felt Mansion actually got that on video. They actually had a camera set up and they did catch Agnes's room's door opening and closing on their own. Cool as shite. And that's the first place. I'm gonna get a swig of my Milo tea. Give me 1 second to undo here. Okay. All right. So, yeah, and the Felt Mansion. I don't know if I said this before, but or mentioned that probably. I'm sure I have. I am a medium. I can tell you if there's any spirits here, who they are, how they pass, they'll communicate, all that kind of stuff. So this is where I first, not really, God, I don't know how you would say this. I guess how I knew or I found out that I could sense the spirits. Our friend who's a medium, and as if you guys know, I do not name names without getting permission first. So my friend was there, and she's a medium, like I said, and we were up the stairs in the Felt Mansion, walking through the upstairs bedrooms, and I felt like cobwebs against my arm, and there was no cobwebs. So I told my friend, I'm like, yeah, I'm feeling like cobwebs on my arm, and she goes, that's the spirits. They are touching you. She goes, you are a medium in some sense. I'm like, cool, cool. So during the whole time there, not all the time, but occasionally I felt that same cobweb feel. And supposedly, from what I've been told, that is the spirits touching me. So yeah, that's that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. Like I said, we did go here's the story. The Sands Correctional Facility. We were down. Oh my we we were over there and we're taking pictures, and we had the people that were there for the presentation with us, and we're down in the Sands Correctional Facility, and I would have an orb, or something on a picture, and there's these my wife called them ghost groupies behind me, and she goes, uh, "Excuse me, ma'am, can you get your breasts off my husband's shoulders?" And I'm like, "Oh, were they on my shoulders?" I knew damn well they were, but I was in the moment, you know what I'm saying? I was in the moment, enjoying the preciousnesses on my shoulders. Okay, okay, I'm back. I strayed a little bit, but I'm back. Okay, so number 4 is the Detroit Masonic Temple. Have a story about this one too. One of the most haunted places in Detroit is the Detroit Masonic Temple. One of the most well-known ghosts that are said to inhabit the building is George D. Mason. His apparition has been spotted with several guests and the night watchman. Wait. Oh, so his apparition has been, I thought it had been seen. Okay, never mind. Has been spotted with several guests and the night watchman. So are they saying that his apparition has been spotted by several guests and the night watchman? Or how I read it is his apparition has been spotted with several guests and the night watchman. So that doesn't make any sense that way. So I'm thinking is his apparition has been seen by several guests and the night watchman. I think that would be more correct, I think. So there are also many cold spots in the building, and the doors are said to have opened and closed on their own. In particular, the roof doors have been seen to swing open just moments after being locked by the night watchman. So yeah, I think that's what it is. His apparition has been seen by several guests and the night watchman, not his apparition has been spotted with several guests and the night watchman. So I'm thinking it is he has been seen by several guests and the night watchman. So my story about the Masonic Temple, again, years ago, man, I don't know how long ago it was. We were supposed to investigate the Masonic Temple, okay? I looked it up online. We had gotten permission, all that good shit. Okay, we don't trespass, and we were doing the research. This is a big freaking place. Where are we going to set our cameras? Where are we going to all that stuff? Well, like the day before, 2 days before, I get an email and says, are you going to pay for security? And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? They go, oh yeah, if anyone comes in here, they have to pay for security. And I'm like, well, we weren't told that. How much is it? And I think they said it was like $500. And I'm like, seriously? Really? $500 to hire private security? How about if we just bring our own things to protect us? Nope, can't do that. You have to have security. Well, shit. So long story short, the investigation was canceled. I wasn't paying $500 to have freaking security. In hindsight, maybe I should have, but yeah, it didn't. So 5 is the Traverse City State Hospital in Traverse City. Been there. So Traverse City State Hospital was in operation for more than 100 years. So you can imagine the vast number of patients who have passed through these doors and the large volume of deaths that must have occurred there or here. As you might imagine, over the years, there have been a growing number of tales about restless spirits and patients who have never checked out of the hotel. Well, they capitalize the I and the T. So capital I, small t. It now stands abandoned. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. And I will get to that in a second. And the decaying, but is also to be known as one of the most haunted places in Michigan. And here it is. What is it? First, it's the River Raisin battlefield. Then it was Mackinac Island. And now it's Traverse City. Which is it? Which has the most haunted places in Michigan? God. So one of the most disturbing stories linked to Traverse City State Hospital is that there is supposed to be a portal to, oh Jesus, man, why is there always a portal to hell? There's one out here in the backyard of the spook house. Jesus, this is what I hate. God, I hate this crap. But anyways, under the so-called hippie tree. Now, why the hell would there be a portal to hell under a hippie tree? Which was located on the trails just behind the main building. There are also frequent reports of disembodied screams and voices echoing through the empty halls. And lights are said to turn on and off at random, despite the fact that the electricity has been disconnected for several years. Not true in every building. Some of the spirits to have actually manifested as full apparitions around the hospital include several patients, including children, and the spirit of a priest who took his own life inside the hospital. However, perhaps the most terrifying of all is the disfigured, shadowy figure who is said to creep around the tunnels and basements. Okay, here's my take. Okay, yes, the cottages where the patients lived, yes, those are decaying. There are only a couple of them left that we were actually able to go into on the tour that we took. But yes, some of them are decaying. However, the main building has been turned into the first floor is shops, a little, independent shops, not like Walmart or anything like that. And then the upstairs, check this shit out. They converted into condominium. Can you imagine? Can you imagine living in a condo that was once the operating room and stuff? Oh my God, it was so fucking cool. Can you imagine the stories that people can tell if they were able to tell stories? Just unbelievable. Just unbelievable. I would love to stay there. I really fucking would. But anyway, so yeah, then supposedly a child has been seen in one of the tunnels. Part of the tour took us on the tunnels, and the tunnel that we supposedly, a woman years before we were there took a picture in the tunnel, and there's supposedly an apparition of a small girl at the end of that tunnel. One other thing too, see, I told you it was going to run longer than usual. Is we were up there one time shopping, and it was all four of us, and not expecting the paranormal at all. Is that this was strictly a family trip up there, and I was in the front, and it was me, I think our son and daughter, and then Brenda bringing up the rear. And I looked back to make, cause I walk fast, so I looked back to make sure everyone was behind me. And I saw this black shadow behind Brenda, and she was running, or the figure was like coming up really fast. And my first thought, and I still remember this, my first thought was, boy, he's in a fucking hurry. He's gonna overtake all of us. And I looked back again, and he's gone. And we were in a long hallway. There was no other way to get out, and he was coming towards me. And then the other experience that I had was we were in the refurbished chapel, and we took the elevator to the second floor. And I'm standing there, and our tour guide, he is, giving the spiel about, what happened here, blah 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 blah. And I heard somebody behind me, like talking in my ear. I thought it was a real person, so I turned around. There wasn't anybody there, but there was someone talking in my ear. Like I don't remember what was being said, but I do remember that I distinctly heard someone whispering in my ear. So number 6, I've never been here before, is the Landmark Inn in Marquette. The Landmark Inn has rich history and has played host to a variety of celebrity guests over the years, but is also famed for being one of the most haunted places. Here we go again in Michigan. One of the many ghost stories that are linked to the Landmark Inn, one of the most well-known, is the librarian. I've never heard this before, buddy. I'm sorry. It is said that in the 1930s, a spinster librarian, I know what spinster means, unmarried, kind of like, whatever, and a crewman fell in love. Aww. The plan was for the couple to marry after his final cruise. Oh, I can see it now. I have not read any further. The ship goes down. But unfortunately, the ship was swept away, and the entire crew went down with the ship. I knew it. I knew it. The librarian did not ever recover from her grief, and it said that she died soon after, possibly of a broken heart or the end of the rope, whichever you want to believe. Many people have reported seeing the librarian gazing out of the window of the lilac room up on the 6th floor, bound for eternity to wait for her missing lover to return from the sea. The lilac room has been the most active room since the renovation. Well, anytime that you renovate, you're going to stir up stuff. Plain and simple. Since the renovation work in the 90s. Yeah, any even in your house, if you do renovation in your house, you're going to stir up this. If there's any spirits there, you will stir them up because you are basically changing their house that they like just the way it was, and you're changing it. So yeah, it's yeah. They were, or the very first guests to stay in the room after the grand reopening complained of finding screws in the bed. That gives, remember back in the day, back in the 70s and 80s, you would have a screw in your hand and walk up to a chick and say, "Hey baby, you want a screw?" As you give her the screw. It's not paranormal, but screws in the bed kind of took me off key there. He had the housekeeper change the sheets, but on returning to the room after dinner, there were still more screws in the bed. Staff members have also said that the front desk frequently receives calls from the lilac room, even when it's unoccupied. Okay, so the Amway Hotel, I've never been there before. I've heard about it, but never been there before. And this is the last one, but I'm going to add a few more. The Amway Hotel, or Grand Plaza Hotel, has a rich history dating back to the opening as the Pantland Hotel in 1913. Despite several renovations and name changes, the hotel has retained much of its original grandeur and remains one of the most iconic buildings in downtown Grand Rapids. However, the hotel is also famous for its reported hauntings and ghostly encounters. Mary Manco, I think I said, a young girl who was decapitated. Oh, that hurt. That will ruin the weekend. In an elevator accident in 1914, is one of the most famous ghosts associated with the hotel. Her spirit is said to still haunt the hotel, and guests have reported hearing her crying or giggling in the elevator shaft. Other ghost encounters reported at the hotel include the apparitions of a former guest, strange noises, and unexplained movements of objects. My hair itches. The hotel staff has also reported ghost encounters over the years. So those are the top 7. Yes, the top 7. But, oh wait, there's more. The Whitney. I will never step foot in that place. And I'll tell you why. Okay. Oh, there's actually a lot more. Okay, I'm not going to elaborate here, but the Whitney, we tried to do an investigation, and well, I'm sorry, we have an exclusive ghost hunting team but if you want, you can come to have dinner, and then you can pay for an investigation with our exclusive, paranormal team. Fuck that. I've been doing this for a long time. Why the hell? And I don't know who the other team is because I don't give a crap. But why am I going to let some snot-nosed paranormal group that's been doing this for like 5 years tell me how to investigate using equipment? I don't think so. So yeah, I would never. The wife wanted me to. Sorry, honey. It's not going to happen. Not going to happen. Other one is Eloise. Hello, Eloise. Yep, we tried to get in there 2 years ago. We sent an email saying, hey, we're interested, paranormal. We'd like to do an investigation. Oh, I'm sorry. We don't have any spirits that reside in Eloise, but thank you for your email. But I guess they do have spirits if you're paying money, I guess, because now they have haunted overnight, or not overnight, but they have haunted ghost hunts with a different team in Eloise. So I guess it wasn't quite okay if I wasn't paying money, but now that people are paying money, all of a sudden we're haunted. Oh my God. Yeah, there was sarcasm there in case you didn't know. Supposedly Fort Mackinac is also supposedly haunted by former soldiers. I don't know about that. The Paulding Light, if you've ever been up in the UP, it's a mysterious, unexplained glowing orb that dances around or along the remote power line. That has been figured out, so I'm not going to ruin it for you all. Felt Mansion we talked about. MSU, Michigan State University. We have investigated the auditorium, and we found some stuff. It was part of the state news interview that we had done years ago. So yep, so that was the auditorium. Here is a lighthouse, the Sisquo Lighthouse in a Gulliver, and that's cool. Climbed up the lighthouse, hotter than shit. And reports tell of lingering objects being moved and sightings of an early keeper who supposedly died on the grounds. Now the lighthouse, as far as I know, is automated, so they don't have any more keepers there. So the house right beside the lighthouse was the innkeeper's house. You can go there now. It's like a museum, and supposedly years ago a Boy Scout troop was there, and they saw the apparition of one of the early keepers, and they reported smelling of cigar smoke when there was no smoking allowed in the building. So the Henderson Castle, I've never been there. You can stay there. It's a Queen Anne style mansion operating as an inn where guests frequently report phantom footsteps and shadows. Okay. Historic Fort Wayne. Have not been there either. And that is a Civil War era site with reports of shadowy soldiers roaming the limestone barracks. And then Spooky Roads and Outdoor Haunts, the Seven Gables Road in Dansville, a notorious unpaved country road surrounded by a legend of glowing lights and phantom figures. There's also the house that stood there was supposed to be, I believe, owned by a witch or an accused witch. And if I remember correctly, there's the foundation, and either if you're in a group and you go into either you climb over the fence or you climb over the wall, the foundation, and you will be the first one to die. Yeah, so that one is cool. And then there's the Pure Cheney Cemetery in Grayling. The lone remaining trace of an abandoned 19th century lumber town, rumored to feature cursed headstones and eerie mist. I'm going up to Mackinac twice this year. The first time is in about 2 weeks. I might stop there. The only issue I have is it's a dirt road, and I don't take my Challenger on a dirt road if I can help it. So yeah, I had thought about renting a vehicle for Mackinac. I still might do that. Then I could go there and not worry about it. It's just not my car, really, right? So yeah, the Pure Cheney Cemetery. That's a possibility of going there. Okay, now, okay, I don't know. Okay, let's just do one more. This is Pure Michigan, the 6 haunted places in Michigan. Okay, the Totery Hotel in Clare. Oh, see, there's some ones here. The Terrence Inn and 1911 restaurant in Petoskey. The Sisquo Lighthouse, I've already said that. Now, see, Michigan, here's one that's interesting. Here's one that's interesting. Michigan's first state prison in Jackson. They have tours there, but they're like really fucking expensive, man. Oh, who's this? Who? Oh, I see. Pure Michigan. Private investigations with our core team and public investigations for yourself. Screw off. Yeah, again, I'm not going to have any snot-nosed person that has only done investigations for a year telling me how. Yeah, and yeah, I'm not bitter. I'm not bitter. The problem I have is I don't like to go on an investigation being led by someone who has 2 years experience. What the fuck are they going to teach me? I'm not being conceited. I'm not being overly dramatic. We've been doing this for 30 years. We have done hundreds of investigations. I'm not going to let some dude has been doing it for a year tell me how to investigate. Uh-uh. But off this list, okay, off this list, they forgot a few places that I know of are haunted because we've been there and had these things happen to us. Off the top of my head, the USS Edson in Bay City is a destroyer, World War II destroyer. They have activity there. They have. We did the haunting on Hamilton Street. Prozac's first movie, I guess. The Comedy Club, the Shook Hotel, the Stables, all three are haunted. You got Bath, the unfortunate event that happened in Bath in 27. That place is haunted. There's a cemetery up in the UP. It's called Mission Hills Cemetery. That's haunted. I've seen two apparitions up there on film. A cemetery here that my family is buried at. I had a experience there. There's a cemetery in Saginaw that has, or is it Flint? I think it's Flint, that has a sculpture or sculptures of kids, and that is supposedly haunted. I've written a book, in case you're interested, Haunted Michigan's Graveyards. It's on Arcadia Press, which has the haunted history, like haunted here in Michigan, haunted Lansing, haunted Grand Rapids, haunted Detroit, haunted this, haunted this, haunted this. So yeah, please do. And then our Facebook page is for our group is the Southeast Michigan Ghost Hunter Society. Go check us out. We do have presentations. We do have coming up October. Got a couple of things in the works that may or may not happen. We got any public investigations are listed there too. And yeah, that's about it. So thank you for listening. Thank you for putting up with me. As always, thank you. And you have to be more, again, this is not the definitive list. This is not the only list. This is not my list. This is off the internet. One was Pure Michigan and the other one was Hotel Cole. I believe. Go back. Hotel Cole, I believe. No, it takes me back there. That's not it. That's not it. So anyways, again, thank you. You have to be more afraid of the living than you do the dead. Stay away from the light. Unless that's your thing, baby. And you do whatever you want to do. And until we meet again, bye-bye.
I'm sorry, but the person you called has a voicemail box that has not been set up yet. Goodbye.